I'm Deputy Jim Brown from Beaver County Sheriff's Office.
I'm Dale Glatz with DSG K9.
We are here promoting the 3rd annual Dog Days of Summer with all of our police K9s. This is our 3rd annual. Dale was our trainer and decoy, and we have about 12 to 15 dogs. We've been performing demos for the last 2 days. We're a little bit tired. We've shown the audience everything from apprehension work, bite work, obedience, narcotics work, article searches. So the dogs are a little bit tired, and today it's very hot. So we're getting ready to get in the dunk tank and get wet.
Someone in this car is small quantity of cocaine. And without the dog, there's no possible way we could ever find this. And the reason I set this up like this is because when we were training, I told the guys, this happened to me one night in Alabama. My dog searched the car, didn't find anything. Well, they came back later and said the subject in the car thought it was funny that where he hit it, the dog missed. And it was my fault because I didn't present it in the proper way. So I'm going to show you. If you notice, Richie will never touch the vehicle. We will never touch what we're searching. That can elicit a false alert. We don't want that. So Richie's going to get his dog in the right frame of mind. Everything is ritualistic with these guys. They know exactly what they're doing, and he's going to start searching. If you notice, he's presenting all seams and openings, right? Would you say that's an alert? I would. It is in the passenger side mirror. And in my case, I missed it. So we learned a valuable lesson. Very good. Yay, Officer Kruger. I like your dog better than you. All right, buddy. Good job. We smell by the olfactory bulbs in our brain. Right? We as humans, we have a couple 100,000 olfactory bulbs. So when you smell a bag of trash, you smell garbage. Right? The dogs have a couple 100 million olfactory bulbs in their brain, which allows them to instantaneously distinguish every odor in that garbage bag. It also allows them to smell human odor. That's how we train our dogs to track humans. A lot of the old school guys use ground disturbance, grass, leaves, things like that. We don't do that anymore. We start our dogs in about 10 weeks on pavement, concrete, tile, things like that. They learn what human odor. As we're all standing here right now, millions and millions and millions of skin follicles are falling off of you. So guess what? The person you're standing next to, if you don't know them, you do now. Okay? Their skin follicles are falling all over each other. We don't have the capability to see or smell those. The dogs do. So once the dog learns human odor on a hard surface, tracking on this is nothing. So it's very difficult to get away from. Running through water, that's a myth. Right? Your odor has to go somewhere and attach. Right? You can run down the middle of a river, the odor's going to blow to the shore. The dog can find that. So they're very difficult to get away. That takes a long time to train. The levels above basic obedience is what we do. Brian, start out with some basic obedience, and then we're going to go into some more advanced and tactical obedience that we use. You'll hear Brian giving his commands, and if it's something you don't understand, I'll explain it to you what he's saying. That's his heel command. If you notice, the dog is in a position all the time opposite of Brian's gun side. Does that make sense? I need the dog in my left hand, I need the gun in my right hand. Or vice versa if you're left-handed. So the dog is always on the opposite side. And if you notice, unless Brian tells him something, Rumble will never leave that position, no matter what. Show them some tactical, Brian. This is what we call tactical position. Should we have to go into a house with our guns drawn, this is the safest place for the dog and cover officers. If I have a guy on each side of Brian, I need to make sure those guys are safe from an accidental bite. This is where our dogs go. Should Brian have to send his dog from there, and we'll show you that here in a little bit too. Okay? The dog will launch out of there like an IBM. Just hold him down. Understand that everything we do with our dog is reinforced with a positive reward. A toy, could be a bubble, good. We use a lot of marker training. When the dog's young, of course, we use food. Typically, they grow out of that. They become toy-based. Everything's toy. The toy drive takes over. We still use e-collars, right? 99% of the time, our e-collars are on vibration. That's all the dog feels, the vibration on his neck. We don't use electric a whole lot. There are times and places for it. Severe discipline, should your dog run out in traffic, chase a deer, a cat, another dog, a person. Can anyone tell me what the #1 command your dog should know? Somebody give me it. What's the #1 command your dog should know how to do? Here. Not sit, not stay, not look pretty, give me kisses, hugs. Here. If your dog won't come to you when you call it, you've got problems. Okay?
So there's dogs that we started 12 months old, and there's dogs that we started 2 years old. The training usually starts out at about 4 hours per week per discipline. So if it's a dual-purpose dog, they should be doing about 8 hours a week of focused training.
And that's at a young age.
Yes, that's
Very
at a young
young
age. And also, it's one of those things where the training never really stops if you're doing it right. So there is structured training, but there's also, when the dog comes back to the house with the handler, there's also, it's an extension of it. So everything we work off is operant conditioning, where there's punishments and there's rewards. And those punishments and rewards, as soon as we can communicate to the dog when they're doing something right and when they're doing something wrong, the training really never ends.
They'll get a suspicious package in from Colombia, maybe? I don't know. You never know. And so typically we'll go to the post office and they're required to set us up 10, 15 boxes of the same size, shape, things like that. And we send our dog. We don't touch the packages. We don't touch the dog. We let him figure it out. If he misses it, he misses it. That's why I have a drug dog and not a bomb dog. If I miss a joint, oh well. If I miss a stick of dynamite, that might be an issue, right? So I like to do it. We don't touch the boxes. The dog is the only thing that's allowed to touch the box. And in this case, Draco is going to perform a parcel search. Would you say there's something in there? There is. Good job, Draco. So a lot of times, we will get called to a scene where the bad guy ran from the police and they could have swore they saw him throw something, but they're not sure. So we'll bring the dog in and we start checking. And because obviously we're humans and we understand that they can do a job 100 times better than us. They have the mentality of a 3-year-old, but they're super smart. Super. And I just let them go. Don't destroy the drone, please. Soup. And we'll see. Oh, okay. I forgot where I put it, actually. So I would say he found something, and he will stay there and show me until I YES him or reward him. That's it. So I might be way over there. Yes. Did anybody see this? This handgun laying right here? Well, he smelled it. What was he smelling? Does anybody remember what I said? Human odor. He's not smelling the bullets. The explosive dog can smell that. He smells human odor. Very strong. Human odor is outrageous. Good boy, buddy. Good boy, buddy. Yes. And all they work for is play. They find it, they get a toy, we play with them, and they're as happy as can be. Right? All right.
We get our dogs, a lot of times they're young puppies, sometimes 9, 10 months, sometimes they're 6, 8 weeks. They all start the same. Basic foundation work, marker training. Everything's the same. Food drive, everything is food reward based. And they're taught certain disciplines and they don't even know what they're learning.
Yes.
Right? So everything, we mark their training and their behaviors and things, and before you know it, they're doing things that we need them to do in police work. They don't even know how they got there. So, but the training never stops. People ask that all the time. They train their entire life. Federal law states that we have to train 16 hours a month. That is nowhere near enough training for a police dog to be on the street, in my opinion. And Dale agrees with me on that. So not only do I hold the monthly K9 training, which is just 16 hours, but we meet at Dale's training facility every Sunday. Everybody in the group is welcome to come there. The training that we do twice a month for the 16 hours is live-based scenario training. The training we do on the Sundays, that's where we break things down independently and dissect them and work on certain issues. So there's two different types of training, and you need both of that. If you just constantly, concentrate on scenario training, you could have problems, and you're never going to fix them. You have to break those problems down, fix them, and then go back to your scenario base, and your dog continues to improve.
So they've made a felony stop here. K9 shows up for backup. No need to remove that suspect until the dog arrives. If they remove him now and the dog's not here and he runs, now we got a whole nother situation. Dog's on scene. Do your thing, guys. Compliant subject. The dog is a visual deterrent right now. Up. Boom. Goodbye hamstring. Your hamstring is done. So, at this point, would we take the dog off the suspect? Is he under arrest? No. Don't move. Sorry. Until you are in custody, that dog stays on you. That means the dog, the guy will be handcuffed.
Everybody, we are Long Island. We're based out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Right now we're doing our
In custody. Done. Nobody hurt except the bad guy. Sorry. It'll heal. Very good job, guys. Very good.
The new handler that I picked for the sheriff's office, Mr. Hunter, Deputy Hunter, he's getting an explosive dog. There's a gauge we use. Yeah, you take a written test. Yeah, you take a physical test. Your oral test is the most important to me because that's where I ask you, what are you going to do with your dog when you go home at the end of the night? Do you have kids? Do you have a wife? What kind of life do you live? Do you like to go out? Do you drink? Do you Dave answered all the right questions. He's responsible. He understands that it's not an 8-hour job having a dog. You just don't put him away at the end of the day. It changes everything. And if you are married, which Dave is not, I am, you better hope you have the right wife for the job too, or you're gonna have a problem. My wife understands that they're part of our lives, and the 8 hours turns into 24 every day. It becomes a lifestyle. And if you don't know how to live that, or you're not willing to live that, this is not the job for you. And it's not being mean to anybody. I hear, I want to be a canine guy. Well, you might want to know what that consists of before you make that commitment, because you may not want to be a canine guy. There's a lot of love, devotion, training. There's also a lot of pain. There's fingers that get bit off. There's arms that get tore open. There's broken bones. There's dogs that get hurt. There's things that are not good in this job. It's a dangerous job. I told people yesterday, when they call me to a call, I'm not going on happy calls. Everything I go to is bad. That's why the dog's there, because things have gotten out of hand for the street officers, and they need a dog. So you got to understand that every call you go on, potential danger there.
You brought the dog in. He didn't have a bulletproof vest on. Do you put those on your dog?
Bulletproof vest. I know, everybody wants a bulletproof vest on your dog. That's great. They work fine. They're bulletproof and stab-proof. The minute you put that on your dog, you have minutes to work. The dog will stroke and die. Heat, overheat. The dog's temperature is typically 102 to 105. We're at what, 96, 97? What happens to you when your temperature is 105? You're going to stroke out and die. So the dog's already there. They got a minute section that you can play with as far as body temperature. So the minute you put that vest on, and there's moments, yes, it has to go on. You have to understand you have minutes before you've got to get that dog out of that situation, get that vest off, and get him cool, or he's going to overheat. Yes, ma'am. They stay with us at home. Yeah. They stay with us at home, and they live out the rest of their life, unfortunately. Most of the time it's in pain. Their bodies are eat up with arthritis. My first dog lived 4 years after, but with constant shots, medications, things like that. He was healthy, it's just their bodies are destroyed with arthritis because it's very difficult on them. They suffer a lot of injuries, but they live a good life, trust me when I tell you. We're going to do another apprehension for you, last one. And this is a little advanced. This is not for a beginning dog. So what we're going to do is, Joe, you ready? How do you think that soup feels in this heat right now, too? Super hot. That's why we kind of move these along. The dogs, obviously heat's a concern for these guys. Believe me when I tell you, a 70-degree day can feel like 115 to your dogs. You got to remember that, especially when they're not walking on pavement. They'll burn their feet. So in this situation, Brian's going to bring K9 Rumble in. Dell's going to be compliant at first, then he's going to decide not to be. Well, you know what? I'm just going to let you watch it. I think it's better that way, instead of me narrating.
Fight that dog. No. Who's shooting?
Recall. Number one command.
Walk through me, I'm gonna send this dog. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Stop. Stop, I'm gonna send him. Stop.
By kneecap.
And if you don't think Dell's feeling fun in that, you're welcome to try it. That's about 500 pounds per square inch in that bite. Once again, you notice the suspect is always taken into custody before the dog's removed.
Dell and I have been together he's kind of like my little brother, okay? I beat him up a lot. He thinks he can beat me up, but he can't. But he knows more about the training and conditioning. I know more about the road work. Okay, so it's kind of like a happy marriage. It works, right? Some of the other guys in our group could not tolerate what Dell and I do and say to each other. Not going to happen, right?
It takes a lot of
honesty. It takes a lot of honesty. We both make mistakes. We both get on each other's butt all the time, but we're trying to better each other. We don't like standard training. We like above standard training, so that when we certify that once a year, it's a piece of cake for our dogs. It's a joke. And these guys have committed to our programs. But
the best way to manage the stress within this work is to train hard, so you're prepared for anything that can come.
yeah,
If you're comfortable and confident, the stress kind of just goes away. But back to the question, I think both of us were always into dogs.
Yeah.
We always kind of had a calling where it seemed to come easy to us.
we didn't have the knowledge or the things back then, and you start meeting people, some good, some bad.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you kind of start fading in one direction or the other. Thank God we faded in the right direction, I think, and we ended up with a good group of core guys that we learned from, and you know, Todd Dunlap and people like that, some of the best in the world. And here we
got
are.
lucky.
Here we are. Yeah, we're lucky.
Your
Absolutely.
dog's at home and you play fighting with your kids. I probably wouldn't do that. Okay. Why would I put my dog in a situation where I know he could fail? Right? My wife understands that. You have to watch the horse play. His number one job in his life is to protect Dad. Yeah, even though he knows my wife, you never know how that's going to go. I will not put my dog in a situation where I think he could fail. We can't control everything, but we try. Right? We try to make things, because I do so many programs with special needs kids, elderly people. The last thing you need is an accident, right? So we try to avoid that. Well, we play. Look, we get nipped all the time. It happens, right? I mean, there's no anger there. There's no aggression there. It's just that's how they play. Thanks, God. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I just wondered if you were using more Malinois now than German Shepherd.
I say no. I say that's personal preference to the handler. I like a big slow dog, shepherd. Some guys like scatterbrain Malinois. Right? That's fine. That's personal preference. I'm getting a little too old to handle a Mal. I like a big, luggy, 120-pound shepherd. Right, that's just me. That's all personal preference. We try to match the handler and the dog up. I'm not going to give a handler a dog that I know is too much for him, or it's too fast, or that's just a recipe for disaster. So we try to match them up as best we can. Okay? Thanks. We'll see you at 3 for the next one. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So, do you use more males, and if so, why?
Male or female? Irrelevant. We use both, but the female has to be spayed. I can't go on a street with a female wearing a diaper. Okay? I mean,
It just seems like when you see them, it's mostly males.
it's mostly males, it's simply for they use visual, things like that. The female police dogs that I know are more aggressive than the male dogs, right? But they're out there. Allegheny County has quite a few of them.
Better control over the males?
No. Women don't listen. No. No. They're about the same. I would actually say the female temperament's a little bit higher than the male. But it's irrelevant, to be honest with you. Yeah, we could care less. If your dog's good, he works good, I don't care what it is, male or female.
And thank you to everybody that sees this for the support.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have public support, none of this would be possible, and we wouldn't be able to showcase what these dogs, how they can help, and what they can do for the community.
Yeah, what you see out here is minute.
Yes.
It's the basic of the basics, right? I mean, to actually get you to see, that would be an all-day thing. And we've had to cut one demo short because of the heat. The dogs are wearing out. We can't take a risk of hurting a dog. So it's better just to leave them in the air conditioner and call it a day, and we're going to go get in the dunk tank.